Hi and welcome to episode 3 of our epic Scandinavian road trip. In last week's episode we started off in the beautiful town of Ribe, Denmark's oldest town, and then worked our way up the west coast of the country until we reached the very top in Skagen, where we went paddling with one foot in the North Sea and one foot in the Baltic Sea. After that we drove slightly down from there and stayed overnight in a place called Frederikshavn in Palm Beach. Now this was a real revelation for us. It was absolutely gorgeous, and with its palm trees and its white sandy beach, beautiful sunset, more like being in the Mediterranean than on the Baltic Sea.
Hi guys, so we've had a lovely night here, Frederikshavn, next to Palm Beach. We got up quite early this morning and just went and laid on the beach. It was really nice. The water here is crystal clear. Unfortunately it's absolutely full of jellyfish, so obviously didn't go in for a swim, but nevertheless it was really nice just laying there. There was no one else on the beach at all this morning, so I just laid there, read my Kindle, kind of felt like I was on a tropical island somewhere. So yeah, really nice.
So we're just on our way south, and Steph spotted this place in the guidebook. So this is the Lindholm Viking cemetery. It's about 3 or 4 kilometers outside of Aalborg, and apparently there's up to 700 Viking Age, Bronze Age and Iron Age graves in this site. So I'm just going to have a quick nosy round on the way through. So I suppose it depends on your perspective as to whether or not you find stuff like this interesting. I do. And there's a couple of interesting facts about this. First is, it was actually buried under about 4 meters of sand because of shifting sands in the area, which meant that the graveyard was left untouched for sort of centuries. And the other thing is a lot of the graves are actually arrayed in the rough shape of a boat. So yeah, it was an interesting place to visit if you're into Vikings. There is a museum as well, which cost 60 kroner to get in. Decided not to do that though, because it's going to be quite a Viking heavy day today and tomorrow. There's only so many Viking things you can do. So, more Viking action. Sorry, people. So this time we are near Hobro, and we're coming to see another of the 5 Viking ring fortresses that were built across Denmark by Harald Bluetooth. They've even got Viking Age automatic lawnmowers. That was pretty cool. Admission is 75 kroner, which is probably about £8, I think. But it gives you access not only to this museum, but just behind the van that you might be able to see if there's a second living history museum, which is a farmstead. So we're going to go over there as well now. So much like the place in Ribe, this is a living history museum. With a slight difference as well, because volunteers come here and spend an entire week living the lives of Vikings in this sort of farmstead modelled on as it would have been in the time of Harald Bluetooth. Looks familiar.
So, what a lovely quiet evening we had here at the ring fort, the Viking ring fort, just outside of Hobro, possibly. Oh yeah, just so much wildlife here. Last night I had a last walk with Chili at about 9 o'clock at night, because you can do that over here because it's still sunny. And there's 2 big lakes right next to us where we're camping, and there was just a footpath right along the middle of it, so it was like Heron Central. It was really, really gorgeous. So yeah, a little bit overcast today, to be honest. Quite thankful for that, because it's been absolutely roasting. Some sort of heat wave going on in Europe.
So we're just by Ronda, I think it's pronounced, just off the E45 motorway. And here on the side of the road, in a service station, is black and grey waste disposal, fresh water. There's toilets here, there's a cafe. So just like our services back home, just with the added facility for motorhomes. And again, making life easier, travelling around the country. It's quite frustrating in some ways. It's brilliant when you're travelling around here, but thinking how easy it would be to implement something like this back home if mindsets were different. So I think this is our park up for tonight. We are just on the edge of a forest outside Silkeborg. There is actually motorhome parking in the city, but it's 2 hours maximum stay from 6 AM till 10 PM, which is a bit of a shame really, because it's empty there at the moment and it'd be an ideal facility for staying for a couple of nights, but hey-ho. So we're just going for a wander into Silkeborg. We didn't actually decide to stay to park in the end. There's motorhome parking in the town, so we're going to park in, have a wander around, and then we are going to just drive a little bit further down the lake to a quieter spot for the night, I think.
So this was the lovely Silkeborg. It was really the next town that we went to after Ribe. Lovely little town, lots of little shops. We decided to have some lunch out. So I ended up having a couple of nice burgers. Quite expensive. The beer that you can see in that photo, that was about £10. So we only had one.
So my next stop is in the Silkeborg Museum, and that's because they've got a very famous resident here, which I actually didn't realise was here until I was reading through the guidebooks. So it's a pretty interesting museum to visit generally, as a lot of these Scandinavian ones are, but the star of the show is this man. Tollund Man, one of the world's most famous bog bodies. And whilst his body is now reconstructed, that head is all original in its 2,500-year-old glory. So Steph's busy looking at where we're going to be staying tonight. We're going a bit further down south. We just stayed on the outskirts of Silkeborg last night. This is a restplatz. It's like a picnic area with a car park. It was really quiet. Police pulled in here at one point. We thought, oh, they're going to move us on. There's no signs up or anything, but they weren't really. They just sat there. I think they were just having 5. Probably had a donut maybe. But yeah, they moved on, and I think we might have seen one more car all evening. So yeah, really quiet in here. It's about 2 kilometres down the road, so if you've got a bike, or even if you fancy a walk in for a beer or something, it's pretty close. So yeah, but moving on south today, like I said. So another warm one in Denmark today, and we are just parked up in a place called Horsens, and this is because there's a self-service laundry here, so there's a long overdue, frankly. We've both got sick of just washing our underpants in the sink, so yeah, Steph's just sorting that out now, and I'm just going to take Chili out for a little wander, just so she's had a little walk as well. So just taking a little wander around through some more Viking Age monuments here in Jelling. So the place is completely decked out at the moment because the Tour de France is coming through here tomorrow, we think. So yeah, I forget it bounces around from country to country. So I'm actually standing on one of the burial mounds at the moment from Jelling, next to the church over there, which is actually the main reason why I've come. But again, linking back to Harold Bluetooth, and Jelling is the place of the birthplace of Christianity in Denmark. So the mounds in Jelling are famous throughout Denmark as being the burial place of King Harold Bluetooth's parents, Thera, and her husband Gorm the Old. So aside from the burial mounds and the church, there is an excellent Viking museum in town which also explains how Jelling is interlinked now with the current Danish royal family. The reason most people visit though is for the rune stones in the church graveyard, and the bigger of the two, which has stood where it stands today for 1,000 years, has been described as Denmark's birth certificate, because on it Harold Bluetooth explains how he conquered the Danes and converted them to Christianity. Obviously the place has been manicured within an inch of its life, I think, with the Tour de France coming tomorrow, although it's not the kind of place I could ever imagine looking scruffy, to be fair. I don't know if you can see behind me there, I did try to catch on camera earlier, there's a Viking mark, but unfortunately we were about 5 minutes late to catch it, so I have to come back in tomorrow. You may see some interesting fashion changes in the next 24 hours. So, productive day today. We got all the washing done, which was good. What else did we do? Well, got shopping done, which was necessary. Washing cost around about 20 quid, we think, but that was for 2 full loads of washing. So actually probably works out mildly cheaper than our Evolution laundries we use back home. Yeah, and then that little trip to Jelling, which was really cool. And now we're parked up in, where we parked up?
So we've just pulled up in this place to stay tonight. Nice little car park, but there's supposed to be a nice beach down there, which is good for swimming, and it is roasting. We've been travelling around all day doing different bits and pieces, so I'm going for a wander, see what the sitch is. Do I reckon?
So beautiful, peaceful night last night here on the coast where the Baltic Sea meets I think it's the Veja fjord. It's hot again, as you can see. My glasses are zooming up. We're gonna have a quieter day today, I think. We've been really busy. We've only done the 1-2 night stop since we've been here, and that was in Ribe, which wasn't like the quietest time anyway. So we're just going to make our way a little further across today. So we've managed to dodge the Tour de France, we think.
Barely.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I've parked up, done all the chores. Steph did all the ground crew duties. I did the hostess duties today and changed the bedding. We parked up here in a place called Middelfart. Now before you start sniggering, fart is speed in Danish. So this is a town called Medium Speed. True story. We've parked up in this really cool facility. It's purposely set aside for motorhomes. It's next to the harbour, just next to the town as well, which is great. 175 krona for all day parking, and then an extra 25 krona for the overnighting for motorhomes, so it's perfectly permitted. So for 200 krona, you get your 24 hours, which is around about 24 quid, no, 22 quid, but 20-ish quid.
Not forgetting showers, toilets, water, toilet emptying, Wi-Fi, hence downloading some books on the old Kindle.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got everything you need here. Yeah, the building site isn't quite as nice as the harbour view, and apparently they are working on it at the moment, but hey ho, it is what it is. Still a fantastic place to stop tonight. So this is the shower room that we get included with our, what was it, 200 krona for the night. Yeah, perfect really. This is a really great facility, I've got to be honest. As somebody who motorhomes, like more of this is what we need in the UK. It's a beautiful spot here as well. So we can go for a wander into town in a minute, but first it's going to take me about 2 weeks to wash the grime of the road from me. So Middelfart's a good, cute little town. We were a bit surprised though, we've just seen our first vaping shop in Europe. So that's a bit of a change from like about 50 in every town back home anyway. So it's a beautiful evening here down in the Middelfart, next to the marina. It's so nice. I think we might stay another night actually to chill out a bit. We've just seen, well, I've just seen Steph's asleep, but there's been a terrorist attack in Copenhagen. Looks like a few people have been killed in that. So I mean, we are still planning to go there this week. And you can't let people. The whole point of being a terrorist is to frighten people from doing stuff, really. So, you know, there's an argument, I think, if you decide not to do something as a result, that's a victory for them. So, but yeah, for now, just going to enjoy this lovely sunset, or chilly as a last wee of the night. So once Chili's finished her breakfast, we decide that we're going to go out and take a bit of wander around Middelfart. And what an absolutely beautiful place. Again, this is a really happy instance of us sort of stopping somewhere just because there's a kind of a facility there for us, not because we'd ever intended to. Really lovely seafront, you know, all these beautiful sculptures. And yeah, just spent a really nice day wandering around there. Anyway, that seems like a really good place for us to stop this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, thanks very much for watching, and if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, that would be great. We'll be back next week with another episode, and in the meantime we'll leave you with some views of Middelfart as we go. Take care.